life. Please don't make it life. Please don't never do it. Don't you understand what I mean when I say so? Never do it now. Never do it now. I just don't know why you make me feel like this again. Never do it now. Never. Don't you understand what I mean when I say so? Never do it now. Never do it now. I just don't know why you make me feel like this again. Never do it now. Never. Do not walk, do not talk, don't be fool, go to school, do not watch, do not talk, do not throw a thing in hell, do not club, do not beg, don't be shy, do not lie, do not cry, do not shout, do not do it, never do it. Please don't run about in my house, please don't talk about it, do it nail, please don't tell a lie, please don't make it lie, please don't never do it. Don't you understand what I mean when I say so? Never do it now, never do it now. I just don't know why you make me feel like this again. Never do it now, never. Don't you understand what I mean when I say so? Never do it now, never do it now. I just don't know why you make me feel like this again. Never do it now, never. Do not walk, do not talk, don't be fool, go to school, do not watch, do not talk, do not throw a thing in hell, do not club, do not beg, don't be shy, do not lie, do not cry, do not shout, do not do it, never do it. Please don't run about in my house, please don't talk about it, do it nail, please don't tell a lie, please don't make it lie, please don't never do it. Don't you understand what I mean when I say so? Never do it now, never do it now. I just don't know why you make me feel like this again. Never do it now, never. Don't you understand what I mean when I say so? Never do it now, never do it now. I just don't know why you make me feel like this again. Never do it now, never.
I said all that with my microphone muted. God damn it. Fucking boomer moment. Oh, goodness. Oh, man. Camera pointed at my messy floor. There. So that way the gun tank is still threatening you. Oh, what is up, everybody? Goodness. I am, it's a day, man. It's been a week, to say the least, and it ain't even over yet. I had to make a run to the ATM this week for some stuff, and then the ATM turned out to be busted when I got there. And for those of you who have been following the home game, I have a slip disc in my back. And I was at a point when I went down. So the ATM is like 4 city blocks away from me, right? So I'm walking down there, and trying to walk with a slip disc in my back. Now it wasn't so bad at first, and then I got about halfway there, and I felt this really weird sensation in my right leg, where all of the muscles from my quad, my hamstring, and my entire right butt cheek, basically my right buttocks, were tensed like this. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I'm like, all right, let's take a breather. Let's relax a second. Then we'll go another block. So I go another block. Just walking slow. And then I get to the next block. Still that tension in my muscles, right? Like, what the fuck? And then my back starts thumping. Like I feel my pulse in my lower spine. I'm like, oh fuck. I made it worse. So, me being the stubborn old bastard that I am, still went to the ATM. It's busted. Have to walk all the way back. I go back. I lay down. And I wake back up. You know, the 2 weeks of progress that I had where I could almost walk again, walk normally, completely reset. Now I can't do it. All I can do is limp. So that's awesome. And I was told to make the trip by the landlady. So I told her what happened. I said, because you forced me to do that. My back is in worse shape than it was before. Now it's going to be even harder. So, and the thing is that the back injury that started all of this from years ago happened because she did not have somebody properly salt the walkways. Now, I told her husband about it when the fall happened. God rest his soul. He was a nice guy. Told her husband about it. And he's like, oh God, you know, let me know if you're going to be okay. And I recovered, I was fine. But the fact that this has happened again, I'm thinking about, if I don't have any substantial improvement in the next couple of days, I'm going to the doctor. And I'm having my back x-rayed. And if this is because of the injury, I'm calling a lawyer. This is ridiculous. Talamet says, had to do the same thing in the ATMs. My 7-Eleven wasn't working right, so I had to walk in 90-degree weather to go to the next one. Yeah, so, and I can't even, like, walk properly. So, it sucks. So I'm not in terrible pain right now. It's actually getting better again. The gimmick is that I can, if I lean too far forward, it hurts. And just moving in general, there's pain. Any pain of, like, when that area of my back moves, it's painful. And no matter which way I sit, my right leg is never comfortable. So about every couple hours, I have to get up and stretch. You know, stretch my back out to make sure that it's not, you know, compacting, basically. So, but yeah, it's unfortunate, but that's kind of where I'm at right now. So, but yeah, right now, what we're gonna do today is we're gonna build some gunpla to kind of, you know, take our mind off of things. It's just a weird situation to be in, you know, because like here's the funny thing. Getting up out of this chair, ow, is not hard. Like, watch. That was easy. It's just the walking part. My leg just doesn't want to go. It just doesn't. Like, I'll try to, I don't know if you'll be able to see it that well. Yeah, I can't even put my legs in, like, a good walking position. Like, my feet naturally want to be more than shoulder length apart to be comfortable. So, I'm walking around like a fucking penguin. Like, it doesn't work! That's not how it's supposed to happen. Oh. So, I have a feeling that in probably the next week, I will probably be fine. What I'm going to do tomorrow is I'm going to try it again. But this time, if by the first block I feel like shit, I'm coming home. You know, I'm not going to keep tempting fate with this. the fact of the matter is I'm 38. I'm not as resilient as I used to be. You know, I'm old now. So I have to take better care of my body. That's actually why I've been, like, drinking meal replacements for, like, 2 meals of the day. And I have one like, big meal at the end of it. In fact, tonight, I'm pretty stoked. Because tonight I'm making fried rice, which is, like, one of my favorite things to make. So yeah. And I'm actually going to go a little bit more, like, in depth with it. Normally, if I'm in a rush and I want to make fried rice, like, the sauce that you use for fried rice is really easy to make. It's just 3 tablespoons of soy sauce, half a teaspoon of sesame oil, tablespoon, 3 tablespoons, god damn it, 3 tablespoons of soy sauce, dark or light, doesn't really matter. I prefer dark soy sauce. 3 tablespoons of dark soy sauce, half a tablespoon of sesame oil, 1 tablespoon of vinegar, 1 tablespoon of sugar to balance that out, because it's very acidic, that mix. But it basically takes the edge off of it. But yeah, a tablespoon of sugar, about a tablespoon's worth of ginger. And you can do that one of 2 ways. If you're in a rush, you can use ginger powder. But if you want, like, that fresh ginger taste, which is a little bit more strong, but so much nicer, you can just take a small, like a micrograter, and take ginger to it. But about a tablespoon of that, and then 3 ground up cloves of garlic, or like 2 tablespoons of garlic powder. Mix all that up. And then all you do is you fry up your vegetables. I use carrots, onions, and peas in mine. But you fry up your carrots. While your carrots are frying, you put your proteins on the stove. Put your proteins on the stove. In which tonight it's just chicken. I don't have any steak, but put the proteins on your skillet and sear them for 3 minutes on one side. So in this case, chicken. 3 minutes. While you're cooking that, you got your carrots on the other one that are cooking at the same time. So 3 minutes. While that's searing, you dice your onions. I dice 2 green onions and a quarter of a yellow onion. It's a really good flavor mixture. So once that 3 minutes is up, you flip your chicken, sear it on the other side. And then you take your diced onions, put those in the pan for about a minute until they get really fragrant. It's at that point, of course, set a timer for your proteins, of course. Once that's done, check your protein temp. Check to make sure it's done, especially if it's chicken. For chicken, it's 165 degrees. If it's 165, or if it's like 160, pull it. Reason being is that when you let that rest on your cutting board, it's going to keep cooking while it's there. So if you pull it around that 160 degrees area, it's perfect. Pull it, it's going to be nicely seared, good texture, and let it rest. At that point, you put in your peas, and you let those cook for about 3 minutes in that hot oil until they're up to temperature, until they're nice and soft. Then you add your rice. You mix your rice in. Make sure that it's not clumping, that they're in individual grains, which you're going to stir fry them basically to get that done. Then you add your sauce in. Then you add in your eggs and your proteins. The best way to slice a chicken. So the funny thing about the grains on a chicken breast is that they go in a diagonal. A lot of people don't realize that. They go at a diagonal the way that you're going to buy them in a store. So you cut them at a diagonal like this against the grain, down the chicken, and then into smaller pieces. It'll be so tender it will fall apart in your mouth, and it'll still be juicy if you do it right. Then you just add your chicken, add your eggs to your pot, stir them in there, make sure they get in there, and then finally, before the final stir, you add about a tablespoon and a half of white pepper, specifically, and of course a tablespoon and a half of MSG. Stir that in and enjoy. That's how I make fried rice. So it is a variation of the recipe that Joshua Wiseman does. It's very simple, and it's going to be just as good, if not better, than any takeout place you're going to get it from. So, yeah. That is going to be dinner tonight. And probably dinner tomorrow, too. And the next day. The big thing right now is because it's like, I'm hurt. I'm wanting to make sure that I eat. And I eat stuff that has a lot of vitamins and fiber for the muscles. Alongside carbohydrates for the muscles and so on and so forth. And protein. And that will help me heal a lot easier. And that's the big thing, that whenever you're injured, you focus on your protein. Make sure you're getting plenty of protein. Because the meal replacement stuff I have, it has a ton of protein in it. And then that meal I'm going to make tonight is going to have a ton of protein in it. It's going to have eggs and chicken. I've got turkey sitting in the fridge. Sliced turkey. And I plan on having turkey sandwiches this week. Grilled turkey sandwiches whenever I don't have time to cook. Because we got a lot of shit going on. And I got to make sure that I'm here for it. Plus, I'm still trying to find a new day job. You know, and I've got leads. Things hopefully will turn up. Gonna be running errands for a bit. No worries, servant. How many of you... I know we don't have a ton of people in the chat right now. But how many of you that are actually in here have signed up for the mailing list for Cyberpop? I want to know. I imagine a good chunk of you are, because it's already got 358 signups. And I will go ahead and put the link in the chat. Bang! Right there. I'm going to pin that as well. We got a new cover in this week, so let me show the. That's the Guntank. Oh, I need to get that down. We actually made, for those of you who don't know, we actually got the funding for Englewood Book 2. Where is my? There it is. So we made that successfully. So thank you, all of you. Not me storing my money for Anime Boston 2025. Need more Gunfly. Well, here's the thing, Matt. The signups for Cyberpop for the mailing list, signups are free. So if you sign up for your mailing list, for this mailing list, you will get access to a secret tier. And Servant has actually bought this tier before, so he can attest to this. Where you're going to get virgin covers. Basically, covers without the trade dress. And it goes without saying that that this is going to be a banger of a comic. So you don't have to put any money down right now, Matt. So you can get the Gunpla, and then when the campaign releases, you know, you could back the comic book after Anime Boston. So, it's versatile. That's why I like Indiegogo so much. So, the big thing that happened this week with this is something I'm very stoked about. Give me just a second to pull this up. We have two covers for Cyberpop. This is the first one. I've showed this off before. From Manito, who is our artist on the book. Very detailed, to say the least. And I've showed this one off before. Here's the gimmick. We got another cover by Kanan White. Eh? Now, I've been wanting to work with Kanan forever. And getting the chance to do something with him, have him do something for Grindstone, to me is just beautiful. Kanan is a guy that I have a ton of respect for. I'm very much of the belief that Kanan White is the single most overlooked artist in all of comic books right now. And again, I don't think that says anything negative about him at all. I think that he is phenomenally talented. He's incredible at what he does. I think that, people don't talk about him for one reason or another, and I don't really understand why. I'm of the belief that even if you disagree with who he's working with or what have you, or you don't like every book that his work has been featured on, you cannot deny the man's talent, honestly. He is amazing at what he does. And this cover is evidence of it. Like, it is phenomenal looking. He nailed one of the feel of this book, and honestly, one of its biggest inspirations is Ghost in the Shell, specifically Standalone Complex. Though there's a little bit of the manga version of Ghost in the Shell inspiration there too. And it is very much something that I am a big fan of, to see a cover from him on something that I'm working on. Like, that to me just, oh my god. And I think I've said this to Lolly, but if I haven't, if he's watching, he's going to see it anyway, which he might watch this later. Because I know he's streaming tonight. Dude, you have no idea how lucky you are to have Kanan on your very first comic. And though I've known Kanan for a while, I'm not going to take credit for it. I just made the suggestion. I said, look, I know Kanan, he's a great guy. He's tremendously talented. If we can get him, he'd be great. So, hopefully Kanan will do more covers for Cyberpop in the future. I'd love to have him do some covers for my books too, I ain't gonna lie. I'd love to work with him more. But he's got a lot of stuff going on with Rippaverse right now, so I'm just happy that he managed to squeeze us in on a what has to be a pretty busy schedule. Because Eric is doing a lot of stuff. I know they just had another book that just closed. I think it's called Goodying the Polymaths. It's an interesting title. They're busy right now. They're doing their own magazine now and a whole bunch of shit so. The thing about it's made me super mad about myself as a teenager. I could draw Marvel characters, can't draw Stickman now. Here's the thing, Ronan, man. Unless there's a physical thing that caused you to not be able to do it, if it's just you took time away from it, just try to invest back into it, man. Maybe you'll be able to pick it back up. You'd be surprised as what you can figure back out with muscle memory. It just takes time. Very much my pleasure, Matt. I'm super stoked about this book. I'm happy that Lolly's wanting to publish with us. I'm happy that, everything just seems to be coming together. This campaign's going to be up before you guys know. We're going to have t-shirts, posters. Lolly's mentioned this, but I'll reiterate. We're looking into Dakimakuras. People requested it. So I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. Because that's my attitude towards trying to make people happy. It's if somebody says, I want a Dakibakura of a character in Cyberpop, and I'm like, how badly do they want it? Do they want it really bad? Like, they're literally willing to throw money down for this? Okay, let me see how much it's going to cost to make. Fuck it. Why not? You know? So, that's sort of my attitude whenever it comes to this sort of thing. So, if you haven't signed up for the mailing list, please do so. It's going to be an awesome, awesome freaking comic book, to say the least. And yeah, again, big thank you to Kanan once again for fitting us into his schedule to get this cover done. All right. I feel like I'm stalling. I don't mean to. I just stopped. I found girls. I know the feeling. There was a few years where I stopped writing because I was in relationships and doing stuff like that. Nowadays, I admittedly prioritize my passions over relationships, which probably isn't healthy, but it's my life, you know. So yeah. So Guntank. Right there. So we are over halfway done with this fella. So far, he looks pretty good. Bang. The next part that we're working on is the lower end of this thing, the inner frame of it, which we're not done with yet. What other comics has Kanan White worked on? He has worked on a comic book called Uber for Antarctic. Was it Antarctic? No, it wasn't Antarctic. It was God. Let me look it up. Avatar Press. That was kind of Kanan's big coming out party, was Uber. It's a very fucked up comic, but it's very good. One of my favorite comics I've ever read. So, and then he did another one called Son of Shaolin, which I have not read yet, though I plan on it. But yeah, I knew Kanan through from Uber, and then you know, I'm like, I saw him on the indies, you know, during the Comicsgate stuff, wanting to work with people. I'm like, fuck. And he was busy with another book, so I was like, I want to work with him. So I wanted to work with him on ENGLEWOOD, personally. But sadly, was not to be. But, again, maybe I'll be able to get him to do an ENGLEWOOD cover at some point. That would be the shit. Alright. So, hey Serena. You just missed it. We were talking Cyberpop stuff. How am I? Kind of grumpy. Because of my back. Ow! Okay. Dragging this thing with my butt was a bad idea. Let's stand up. Oh, God. And just use my arm. Oh my God. Okay. Oh, aren't I the most entertaining guy in the world? Okie doke. So, let's do a thing. Ow. Why do I keep doing that to myself? I often wonder. Okay, so, allow me to... I'll be alright for now, Serena. If I'm not seeing improvement in the next couple days, I'll be going to the doctor. Yeah, rookie mistake. Your butt is connected to your back. But, for that ATM trip, I'm going to call a friend of mine, and I'm going to say, hey, I will cook you food if you run me around town a little bit. And I will send him home with basically... I actually have bento boxes. Like, bento Tupperware. I'll just give him some food. Like, here. Sit, eat this for dinner. You'll have fun. Either that or I'll give him and the missus a free recipe or something. In Gundam Wing Explained, are you going to talk about Gundam Wing G Unit? No. We are not doing G Unit in the breakdown. The reason being is I have not read it yet. And it is so far removed from what's going on during Gundam Wing that when I started looking into it, I was like, this is going to make these videos like 2.5 hours long. So... personal account says, I'm watching the original trilogy of Gundam movies. Good stuff. What are your recommendations for someone trying to get into mecha? Well, you're already watching Gundam, so that's always my first recommendation to people, because a lot of people get into... like, Gundam, in my opinion, is like the best substitute for Star Wars. Because, like, if you want more Star Wars-y stuff, Gundam fits the bill. It's part of the reason why I'm so into it. Because the Universal Century is very Star Wars inspired. Because I was a huge Star Wars fan when I was younger. Other stuff that I would recommend, Armored Trooper Bottoms is another one that I would recommend. And then of course you're already watching Gundam, so you might as well go down the rabbit hole of the Universal Century. What else is there? Another obvious one is Evangelion. Neon Genesis Evangelion. And that's largely because it is such a unique look at the mecha genre. I'm still of the opinion that it is a deconstruction, but some people disagree with me on that. But, I think. Another one that I would recommend would be Getter Robo Armageddon. That one is an interesting mix of super robots and body horror, which is part of the reason I like it as much as I do. Because I really like horror. Another one that mixes horror with mecha is called Blue Gender. That's another interesting one. Whoa! I will read that in just a second, Columbia. Thank you for the $20. Bear with me for just a moment. I want to turn this fan off before I read that super chat. And I apparently did not prep enough fucking shit. Hold on. Okay. I'm bumping everything. My arms are too bad. As a mecha fan, I can attest mecha fans will watch 5-hour lore dives. We are autistic. I say this as a Battletech fan that regularly watches 2-hour vids on a single mech. Now, excuse me, my $500 Battletech Kickstarter is here. Oh, God. Any mecha with a lot of ecchi? I'm not a big fan of stuff like that. I tend to call them waifu bait, but I have been told that Godanner is right up your alley if that's what you're looking for. Will the rebuild of Evangelion film series be a reconstruction? You know, in a way it kind of is. I need to rewatch those films, but they they are definitely it's an interesting take on Anno's own work that ends with something very hopeful at the end of it. So it's kind of like an inverse of a lot of the things that he had done prior, which is cool to me. Like, I love Evangelion. I love End of Evangelion, which is another... The other thing about Evangelion is it introduces psychological horror into mecha. Also, if you want just like a straight up super robot, yeah, Godaner, just like that. Goddaner. It's either ER or AR. I don't remember which. Code Geass is another one. That's another one I would definitely recommend. Though Code Geass is interesting because like its mecha elements are very minimal. Gurren Lagann, if you want something over the top. See, that's the thing with me. I will never recommend Gurren Lagann. I just don't really like it very much, and I really don't like the fact that they over-sexualize a 14-year-old girl. That's a little sus. I'm just saying. I feel like Jason Lee's character in the end of Mallrats. Hey, that girl is 14 years old. And then Ben Affleck gets arrested. Which, by the way, I don't really have a problem with fan service in anime. At all. I don't mind it. It is what it is. I have a problem with using children for fan service. Or teenagers. That just no. That is something that is very weird in Japan. But Japan has a lot of issues with sexual repression. So... they got some stuff to figure out as a culture. And by the way, I'm not dogging Japan as a nation. Every nation's got problems that they gotta figure out. That's just one that sticks in my craw. I heard you saw Seed Freedom. Did your mind rot from it? No, it's still there. Knock on wood. But, Seed Freedom was hilariously bad. So, at least there was something, that was kind of enjoyable about it. And just the fact I could laugh at how ridiculous it was. It's very terrible, though. It is a very bad movie. In regards to overall quality. It's just not written well. It's got weird character inconsistencies. They kind of... one thing I was, happy about is they finally admitted that Lacus Clyne is a Mary Sue. So that was funny. What are your thoughts on Mighty Strike Freedom? For me, ugly. Oh yeah, the thing's an eyesore. Though the mecha design overall isn't bad. It's better than it has been. Like, they kind of took out the whole strap a jet to its back thing. Which, that made me very happy. I was like, thank fuck. So fucking tired of the strap a jet to its back fucking thing. We do not need this. It looks like shit. Because the funny thing is, I've also seen Stargazer, right? The Stargazer is a really good looking Gundam. Thoughts on Femboys? No thank you. I'm not into men. Sorry to disappoint. But I do not swing that way. Building your gun tank out, building MGDX Unicorn, building it. Dude, Hatter, I'm fucking envious. I want that Gundam so bad. I have plans. I want to fucking study that thing. I want to figure out its LED setup so I can recreate it. So that way I can go with my, I can make my band sheet the way I want to make it. Shit. God, this inner frame has so much to it. I'm not in danger of running out of primer anytime soon, but good lord. There we go. Somebody is DMing me. Just feedback for Cyber Pop, awesome. And Columbia, thank you for the $2. Said they announced a metal build new model expansion. Really? That's interesting. Are they giving it like the heavy weapons system, I'm guessing? It's like 8,000 yen. Jesus. Yeah, those metal builds are stupid expensive. New weapons. Okay. Mighty Strike Freedom, God Mode achieved, lost all interest in the movie. When I fight at the end, flick of the finger takes the fun of the fight. I am in complete agreement, but if you think about it, it's kind of on brand. They give it a Gary Stu Gundam. That's basically what it is. Did the conversion, it's about $53. Yeah, it sounds about right. Oh, it's the full armored Hyakushiki. That's interesting. Speaking of, that is a gunpla that I really want a master grade of. Like, the Hyakushiki Kai is out there, like, as a master grade. You can get it on P Bandai. But, you can't get the full armor version. Like, there's no, like, expansion parts for it or anything. So that's kind of unfortunate. Alright, they're all primed. Ugh, God. Damn it. Who's my favorite lolcow? God. Here's the thing about lolcows, man. This is going to take me a minute to clean this stuff, so I'm going to switch cameras. Here's the thing about lolcows, dude. They kind of depress me. Like, it's just sad to see, you know? Somebody just, like, kind of, like, fall like that. Though, on some cases, it is deserved. You know? If there's one person that's, if he isn't one already, is becoming one swiftly, that is getting his comeuppance. Not my favorite, but he's kind of getting what he deserves. Short Fat Otaku. And I don't say that because of the whole Kirsch thing. I don't even know what all's going on there. Actually, wait, I do know some of it, because I watched a video that kind of gave a little bit of it. What was kind of embarrassing is one of the people that... the fan of his, the one that's in the Kirsch documents, the Dragon Fat deposits, she used to be in my Twitch chat, like, when I was over on Twitch. And I was like, Jesus fucking Christ, what is wrong with people? Though finding out that she, quote-unquote, is a dude, not surprising. Not surprising at all. Tends to be the case with, I'll be honest, a lot of women that you find out there on the internet that if they say they've got giant tits and a fat ass and they've never shown it off on the internet, just be like, press X to doubt, man. Just get your controller and you just hit this button right here. And yes, I do have a controller readily available. I actually have a controller mount right here on my desk. So that, like, whenever I'm gaming, I just pick up the controller and go. But yeah, Dev is getting what he deserves. And not because of the Kirsch thing. If this will give context, I'm a friend of Aiden Paladin's. So whatever happens to Dev next, it's on his fucking head. SFO is a trans girlfriend? I don't think so. Apparently he has a thing for traps. But no, it was somebody that was stalking Kirsch on his behalf, apparently. Was pretending to be a girl online. But anyway, as a friend of Aiden's, just hearing that he was going after her, I was like, dude, what the fuck is wrong with you? His girlfriend's not trans? Let's say I thought he was married to just a normal girl. I don't know, though. I've never interacted with him personally. Never really had a desire to. DFT is a schizo. I kind of gotten that impression, you know, when I first met them. That they were a little... But anywho, so again, lolcows kind of make me depressed. That's why I don't look into them very often. But Dev is kind of getting his comeuppance. His TDS is too strong now. Yeah, I would agree. And by the way, I'm not the biggest like Trump guy in the world. I'd rather him be president than Kamala Harris. I'll be blunt. For completely selfish reasons. I'm a business owner and I want my taxes lower. God damn it. That'll make me a happy man. Hell, tax credits. Like, give me money to make money with my business and I will make the money and then pay the taxes as it grows. Invest. I'm not being 100% serious there, by the way. If I can do it on my own, that's the big thing. Lower taxes is all I care about. Beard. This thing's growing in quite nicely. Is it going past my collar? It is. Interesting. Okay. Now we paint. Ah. Yeah. Let's rock. But yeah, I want the economy to be better. I want more jobs available. The availability of work over the last 4 years has just gone kerplunk. It's very difficult to find a job now compared to 4 years ago. What's my next explain the series after Wing? Oh, it's Zeta. The Grips War specifically. Though the unfortunate thing about the Grips War, my initial plans for the Grips War. So whenever we do one of these, me and Shirt Dude usually chat it out and talk about how we want to pull it off. The initial plan was to do the very first episode would be Char's Deleted Affair, which is effectively about his relationship with Haman Karn and how the AUG was formed. But it would go over Char's Deleted Affair, it would go over Stardust Memory, and it would go over Advance of Titans, in that order. Because 0083's happens first. Because 0083 is, you know, about the events that lead up to the creation of the Titans. But, I need to change the camera back. Ah! There. But yeah, we're going to be talking about that. We'll be talking about, you know, in the first... And I wanted to talk about Advance of Zeta. Because Advance of Zeta, the first installment of it, goes from the ending of Stardust Memory all the way up to the tragedy at... at Side 1, which is where where the Titans gassed a colony. But the problem is that Advance of Zeta has not been translated into English except maybe like the first 30 chapters. So Flag of the Titans. There's only one installment of Advance of Zeta that has been fully translated into English, and it's the one that goes on during the course of Double Zeta. And I don't even know what it goes over. So... But yeah, Flag of the Titans... And then the sequel to Advance of Zeta, the manga, is a light novel, which also has not been translated into English. But the one thing I know from the plot synopsis is it has to do with what happened at Side 1. And who was responsible for it, specifically in the Titans, and a court-martialing that has to do with it. So, I'm kind of bummed out because I was really looking forward to going over all of the variations of the Hazel. Because the Hazel is a really interesting idea. But sadly, I won't be able to go over them. Because I can't speak Japanese or read it. I feel like every time I start going over my hiragana, like, I just get stuck on stuff. And, like, I still don't know how to read kanji yet. That's gonna take fucking forever. The Japanese language has so much to it. It's really intimidating. I mean, granted, I've heard a lot of people say that English can be pretty intimidating as well, but... Like, I think of it like other languages that I've been interested to learn. Like, I've been interested in learning German. I've been interested in finishing Spanish. I've been interested in learning Portuguese. Those don't feel as daunting to me because they are Latin-based languages. You know? Just the big thing if I ever were to learn Portuguese is just get really used to talking like Mushmouth. Bouncy but flag. Like, nothing against any of the Brazilians out there, but man, Portuguese is an interesting language, I'll tell you what. Now, why does that fella from Brazil sound like he's got gumballs in his mouth? I can't understand a goddamn word he's saying. So, Google Translate with your phone, though. Yeah, that the plan that I have, because I still want to visit Japan, to go see the sights. I want to go to see all the Gundam statues and stuff like that. I want to eat at Ribera Steakhouse and buy the jacket. Stuff like that. But, I'd love to be able to speak the language. And admittedly, if I get in shape again, flirt. Though admittedly, I don't know how much I'm going to be able to do with this fucking hairline, man. Really running low on thinner. However, I do have this. This is for metallic paints. That will come in handy when we work on the Senanju, which that's what's next after the gun cannon. Or the gun tank. God damn it. I have a gun cannon in the other room. And it's not a bad kit. It's kind of old. Building the Master Grade gun cannon is kind of like building like a Master Grade Easy 8 or something. Like it's got some issues, but it's still it's serviceable. You know, as a mobile suit kit. Okay, turn. God, Hank Hill in Brazil. How the hell is that woman, whenever she walks, it's like she's got jello attached to her behind. You know, that's what we really need. We need a Max Payne 3 mod that turns him into Hank Hill. I don't know why, but Hank Hill shooting his way through a favela sounds hilarious. Which is better in combat, the gun cannon or the gun tank? If I had to pick what I have to take into combat, I would take the gun cannon. Purely for mobility. Not to mention the gun cannon's physicality is like close to that of the Gundam in regards to like raw strength. Because we see Amuro when he uses it, he like physically manhandles Zaku's in that thing. Then again, it is Amuro, and Amuro is the best pilot in the Universal Century. Which, of course, he's the main character, so it makes sense. I don't even know how much Tamino realizes how much of a badass he made him. Which is really funny to me, because it's like Tamino was always trying to kill him off. It's like every novelization of Gundam that Amuro is in, he dies. Which is so funny to me, because it's like, it was kind of like third time's the charm, because he kills him off in Char's counterattack, spoilers. And it's like, well, you finally got it right, Tamino. That was the right time to do it. But yeah, of the two, like I would rather use a gun cannon in combat. Because at the very least, I have the fisticuffs option in close range. I'm not completely defenseless. With a gun cannon, well, I mean, just watch 08 The Mess Team. Or the gun tank, rather. And somehow Amuro returned? Well, I mean, he does show up as a Force Ghost in Hathaway. I need to watch that again sometime. Almost done. Ah. Get it nice and shiny. Loving the way this is looking. Then again, I just love this paint. It is good stuff. This could actually use a little bit of a quick touch-up, and then it's good. Okay. Wunderbar. Yeah. Okay. Ah. Yeah. I'm making funny noises. Ugh. Goodness gracious. Sweaty in here. Is there a server for channel members? Yes, there is. To get to it, if you have your Discord connected to your YouTube account, you can just join the server. So to give you an idea of what that means, let me bring up Discord real quick. So, on your user settings, just whenever you click on your name, there's going to be a connections tab right here. This is where you want to go. And there will be an option to connect your YouTube account. Let me disable streamer mode real quick. And then from there, it'll list a bunch of stuff. So you're going to see mine real quick. So here you can see my BattleNet, my Spotify, my YouTube. So when you can have it displayed on your profile or not, it doesn't matter. But once you connect your YouTube, it will let you just join the server. It'll actually say, see how it says sub-enabled servers right here? My name, my Big Micah Curtis private will be available. So that's how you get in it. Did anyone see Deadpool Wolverine made like $500 million in 1 weekend? Can anyone say Clash? Yeah. I had a feeling it was going to be huge. Stuff like that prints money. And it deserves it too. It's a good movie. Not world-changing or anything, but it's good. It's enjoyable. I had a lot of fun watching it. Oh, goodness. So, now that that is done, we're going to let those dry for a few minutes. And then after they're dry, I'm going to actually take them off and move them to the side for a bit. And we're going to paint the armor of the lower part of the gun cannon and then get it all assembled. And then we'll do the treads next time. How do you think a Gundam Age 1 normal paint to look like Hot Rod from Transformers? I don't think you know. So I'm just gonna explain it. I fucking hate Rodimus. I fucking hate him. I fucking hate him, man. Rodimus Prime was such a bad leader, he had to kill himself to go get good advice from an actual leader. Oh, goodness. I need to get up for a second. Ah! Yeah. Golly. Standing up straight. We're good. Yeah. Yeah, don't ask me about Hot Rod. I don't like him. I don't like him. Not one bit. Okay. Grabbing the manual. TMNT is doing an official Naruto crossover. Don't remind me. Oh, that saddens me. I hate Naruto so fucking much. Ugh. Just blech. No me gusta. No me gusta Naruto. Es muy feo. Sasuke Uchiha es muy feo. Es muy feo, ¿no? Oh, goodness. If there's any consolation, I did an RX-72 painted to look like Optimus Prime. Well, there you go. Oh, goodness. Okay. So what I'm doing right now is I'm just putting the armor plating out. With the primal of this. Uh-oh. I think I missed some inner frame parts. So I might not actually be done with that. Well, let's check the instruction manual, see what I need to do. Ah. So, according to this, okay. I think I see part of it. Yeah. I apparently completely missed this before. So what we're going to go ahead and do... Let's go ahead and get the gun tank over here. Ah! And what we're going to do is we're actually going to cool as he looks like right here, we're going to separate him. So we've just got the bottom half. Blah. Excuse me. Now. Need that piece. And that piece. And that piece. And that piece right there. Ouch. Okay. Got that there. So. According to the manual, right here, these two pieces I just pulled down, connected right there to the hip joint. What was on top? Okay. That fit pretty snugly, didn't it? And then oh, already fucked up. Shoot. Gonna take a little grip strength. But we were able to dislodge it. Just press it back in. So that's kind of cool. So it kind of just allows it to... Oh. Maybe it just kind of locks it in place. Okay. Well, whatever. Oh, there we go. That's one thing I love about Master Grades is like working pistons. It's just so cool. Okay. Now, everything else here looks like the armor. But there are specific pieces of inner frame that also need to be painted. So, what we're going to do is, let me grab the box. Ah! God. let me... We're going to take all these inner frame pieces that are already painted, and we're just going to throw them into the box. And then after we put on this outer armor, but before we do the treads, which like I mentioned is next time, we are going to I lost my train of thought. Goodness. Just having one of those days, man, where I have got a ton of stuff going on in my brain that I'm thinking about. I will freely admit the big thing on my mind is just Cyberpop. It's the next big thing. I think it's going to be stupid successful. And I think that it's going to be a comic book that a lot of people really enjoy. I feel like I'm missing something here. I think that's how that's supposed to go. And what I'm doing, I should probably be showing this because I'm a big dummy. Is some of these pieces we can go ahead and assemble. I don't think everything went everywhere. But that sound you just heard was the box falling. Okay, it didn't. Ugh. Okay. It's alright. And oddly enough, bending over for that long did not hurt me as much as I thought it was going to. It hurt, but not as badly. I don't think anything flew out of the box to the land of nowhere. If it did, fuck. I will have to dig through the apartment later to find it. But it is what it is. It happens. Every time I build Gunpla, I drop something. Every single time. It's like clockwork with me. Anyway, somebody asked me about... Okay, Dead Ronan asked, how did I feel when I found out Kickstarter was completed? How much weight left your shoulders? Oh, man. I have this thing every time a crowdfunding campaign finishes that I have what I call a decompression time, where I literally tell people to leave me alone for a couple of days. Because it takes my body time to de-stress from it. So now, God, I feel so much better. And by the way, I saw that one of you edited your pledge from your initial purchase, your initial pre-order, to a massive donation. Whoever that was, thank you. Because without you, quite literally, the campaign wouldn't have funded. So whoever that is, God bless you. And let me know who you are via email. Don't expose yourself in chat if you don't want to. Let me know in email. I want to let you know that you've got something special coming towards you. Because unfortunately, it's too late to put you in the special thanks for the book. Because the book's done. It's like copies have already been printed. I can't deviate from that print file because people would be getting different versions of the book, and that's a big no-no in comics. But I got something else I can give you. Guess that's how it's supposed to go. Whatever. Anyway, let's set that aside for now. Well, thank you, Ronan. I appreciate it, buddy. It means a lot to us because we have effectively been sitting in limbo in regards to that comic's fulfillment. Because at the time that the theft started, I had a job that was paying decently to like pay my bills, but it wasn't like paying enough to give me like extra money to have. I didn't have spending money basically. The one thing I limited myself to was a gunpla kit. You know, I would buy a gunpla kit, maybe some paint, and just roll with it. But I didn't have like the money to fulfill a campaign. That's like $5,000. So this cuts off a fifth of that. And then the rest of it, I've had a couple things come up, like editing jobs that will pay like a couple grand between two of them, I think. How much do... Let me think here. Yeah, if both books get where I want them to be, I've got close to $4 grand from my editing work coming in. So, like, we're going to be able to do that. We're going to be able to get it all fulfilled. It won't be easy, and it sucks that I don't get to use that money on myself, but you guys are more important right now. Though, to be honest, whenever it comes to owning a business, this is something that I'm of the opinion that the mantra of anybody who owns a business should have. It's not about me. You know? It's not about me. It's about everybody else. It's about everybody who is willing to buy something from me to help me earn a living, and on top of that, you know, get to do what I get to do what I want, you know, what I want to do for part of my living. Like, the people who make that happen are more important. One thing I want to do once I get a police job, since Illinois pays their cops actual cash, that is true. I want to set one or 3K aside for campaigns. Dude, that's awesome. Well, I will do my best to make sure to give you product that is worth that effort, buddy. That is my goal. And we got a lot of really cool shit coming out throughout the course of the year. Like, we've got the crossover between the Saint and Peregrine that I've been wanting to do for a while. I can't mount these on sticks. Fuck. That's okay. We'll find another way to do them. These I might be able to. Yep, that'll work. But yeah, we got the Saint Peregrine. That's going to be a big one. Once I find a new day job, I'm going to immediately start pumping money into 3 Nights, 4 Days Part 2 to get that back on a roll. It's going to take a while to get it all the way done, but, you know, it'll get there. Goodness, it is humid today. But then after that, there's the third ENGLEWOOD book, which I'm in the process of writing. There's the Argonauts, which is my mecha book. What else am I working on? There's my vampire book, The First Servant. And then there's my I'm not going to call it my, it's not my best work, but it's the work I'm most attached to. And that's Project Lazarus. I've already written the novella, and I've already given that out to people who have ordered digital. Which, if there's anybody in the chat that got the digital, I would love to hear your feedback, man. I worked very hard on that novella, and I have not heard a whole lot, which kind of makes me worried. Hey, Mata. Yeah, it's something like, I don't know what goes into it. I know that for some people YouTube is an addiction. Because you can make good money off YouTube. Like with the super chats that you guys throw at me during a stream, that's, you know, I've had you guys throw stuff like 40, 50 bucks at me per stream, right? Well, what's that like? And I stream for what? Maybe 2-3 hours at a time? So 40, 50 bucks divided by 2, that's $25 an hour. It's a better hourly rate than I'm going to get anywhere else. You know? Yes, there is that too, Servant. I need to get on Xavier about the scripting part. Brushing back up on my C+ programming, so I got you in the background. That reminds me of another thing that I want to do. I've talked with Brain about this, and we've talked about the logistics of it. About getting into video games. I want to make a 3 Nights video game at some point. And Brain and I talked about it. What were we playing when we talked about it, Brain? Were we playing through Elden Ring together, or was it Gears? I don't remember. It was whatever we played before Elden Ring, I think. Which I don't remember what we were playing at the time. But we talked about how, honestly, that wouldn't be that hard to do. I just need some people who know an engine. And I would need to learn a bit of it myself. But I've thought about getting into video game writing. You know? As another thing to do. As another way to make money. The big thing is I would just need to get a collective of people together to work on it together. There's a lot of stuff I want to do with Grindstone, man. Oh, it was over Helldivers, that's it. For those who haven't told already, like, aside from being my lead mod, Brain is my guy that he and I bounce he's the guy that I can bounce ideas off of. And he'll help me figure out whether or not it's tangible to do it. Or he just lets me vent, which is always appreciated. Get in Thor's server. Probably not a bad idea. Because the fact is there's some people that would much rather just work under a project manager than they would try to do it on their own. Is that going to hold? Maybe. Really is my best option, isn't it? Damn. Gonna have to roll with it. Okay. let's table that for now, servant. But you know that's not a bad idea. If you're willing to help me talent search, I would not be against it. Like, I've already seen some pixel artists I'd like to bring in. It's the coding part that would need to get done. Who's that guy in the chair for you? Oftentimes it's Hatman. I think that's what makes our partnership so great. I'm the guy out front. I'm the guy who is the face of everything. I'm the guy who, you know, takes charge of the ship. I'm the captain. He's my first mate. He's the guy that is the one who gives me direction, helps me read the temperature of the things that are going on. He's a phenomenal editor, and I'm actually really bummed that he's not going to have time to edit comics for a while. He's strictly going to be doing legal stuff for Grindstone, because Hatman is becoming Lawyer Man. Also, Brain does not have a wrench for some reason. There you go, Brain. You have your wrench. $80 compared to the $350 you paid to rent it in college, dude. That's ugh. But yeah, back on what I was talking about with like complacency. Like, just as an aside, like it says right there on my thing, $29 in chat revenue. I've been streaming for 2 hours, so that's $14.50 per hour. That's the same as working, a like entry level job here in Illinois, because most places offer entry level at $15 an hour. So. Like, so YouTube is addicting, man. So, because, like, if you're super successful on YouTube, watch a streamer that is super successful on YouTube, open the chat and just watch the top area and get an idea of the type of super chats that come in over the course of 30 minutes. It will blow your fucking mind how much money is in YouTube. Like, people get fucking addicted to super chats. The devil. Hey, man. What's up? Thank you for the 90. Finished my main MS of my full armor Gundam Verka. Should I start building my Hazel or your GPO or the GPO3? Besides that, keep up the good work. Thank you for the super chat, Pans or not. The GPO3 I have, it is an older build. It's an older kit, so it's a little tougher to build. I would do the Hazel first. Then do the GPO3. Because the Hazel's more recent, if I remember right. Okay. So here, what are the inner frame pieces I still need to get? The G8 and H10. Let me move some things around real quick. Too bad YouTube is crap compared to 5 years ago. I'll say this. I will agree that the content isn't quite as good as it used to be. On the flip side, the tools for creators are 10 times better than they used to be. We didn't even know how the fucking algorithm worked 5 years ago. Now they just tell you. They tell you exactly what they're looking for. Because Susan did not care about everybody making money on YouTube. Susan cared about people she liked or people she agreed with politically making money on YouTube. Like Susan's way of managing YouTube is, oh, one guy fucked up, you all fucked up. You all get penalized. One guy caused an uproar, everybody gets penalized. So that type of change was huge for the creators. So I will freely admit I like being on YouTube now that a lot more than I used to. The other thing that to mention is that I was also penalized because I was on that giant bullshit list of the supposed white supremacist pathway in on YouTube. I was listed in that document, and after that document came out, everybody on that list, or just about everybody that was growing as a channel, lost a ton of traffic, myself included. So that's not the case anymore. Yeah, Brain puts it really well. The new CEO may be a bit of a crypto bro, but the plus side is he's pure profit motivated. Exactly. My whole philosophy is I want to make money. Just give me an opportunity to make money. That's all I ever ask. Is just give me an opportunity to make money. And under the current guy, I have the opportunity to make money. Because here's the thing, like, this is work. We're working right now. But it's fun work. It's work I enjoy. I get to entertain you guys. I get to chat with you guys. These are admittedly just chill streams. You know, they're not really meant to be like super complex live streams. It's just sitting down talking with some people. You know, nothing too nuts. I wouldn't mind more people being here, but I'm okay with the small audience because we're just sitting, building, and talking. You know, this lets me yap. And sometimes I just need to yap for a while. But it lets me talk with people. It gives people the opportunity to get to know me better as a creator. It's really cool. You know, I enjoy very relaxed live streams where I'm not like super stressed out or anything. You did do 2 videos on here, but I got bogged down with the editing to do the vids. That's why I have a shirt, dude. That's why I have a shirt, dude. I will edit my own videos on occasion, but I hate being in Sony Vegas, man. Like, it just doesn't, you know. And right now, one of those parts did not make it into the box. Do not disappear into the void, I beg of you. Oh, there it is. I can see it. Whew! Could give me a fucking heart attack. Still does the thing I don't agree with, but he's more open to critique. Yeah, editing videos is a mixed bag. It's one of those things where, like, you have to be really into it. I used to be, not so much anymore. But yeah, but I was saying, a shirt dude is basically working for me part-time. Like, I'm part-time, so he's part-time. It kind of works, right? He does my videos in between his college classes, for some extra cash. But the more money I make, the more money he will make. And I'm hoping that at some point it'll be full-time for me and it'll be full-time for him too. Anyway, let's go ahead and take this inner frame, move it out of the way. There. What time is it? Been going for 2 hours. What time is Lolly streaming tonight? I'll have to look. Hold on. Hold on here. But one thing I'm planning on doing is increasing my streams to 2 a week. He doesn't have anything listed, so we'll just keep going. Ugh. So, what we need to do first, I want to get the yellows out of the way. Yellows, then reds, then blues. Always go that way. But first, we gotta prime it. I also need to adjust in my chair. Again, right leg just never comfortable. Sucks. Humidity in Illinois, man. Never fun. We're going to paint these real quick, and then we're going to call it. Because it's very warm in here, and I'm getting hungry. So, we'll give ourselves about another half hour. I admittedly stalled a bit when we got started. Again, just a yap. But yeah, I want to stream again on Saturday. I'm thinking Thursdays and Saturdays might be my stream days. Okay. Ugh. Whole Mr. Beast situation explained in the podcast was damn. Yeah, and it's still going. It's still unfolding, dude. There's more shit going on. I saw that today. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm going to be talking about 2 podcasts in a row? Leave them kids alone, man. Jesus. Oh, I forgot to empty the fucking metallic paint. That could have been bad. Actually, you know what? In the words of JonTron, fuck it. I don't care that they're not primed. I'm going to get this out of the way. Might come to bite me in the ass. It might not. We will see what happens. Okay. So what happened with Mr. Beast? So he has a his closest friend, his name was Chris, turned out to be a PDF file. So yeah, wood chipper. Wood chipper is necessary there. But apparently, there have been cease and desists going out to websites that have screenshots of the Discord logs of this person grooming children or grooming boys that are underage. So, Ronan, if you haven't, head over to my podcast channel, which is also my comic book company's channel. It's called Grindstone Arts Media. I will link it right now. Head over there and subscribe. We do weekly podcasts, plus trailers for comics and stuff that go up will go up on that channel. So if anybody in the chat is not subscribed, go do it. You will not regret it. The shows are a lot of fun. Will Grindstone ever do traditional publishing, say, Oh, yeah. Like, I have a novella that's up for pre-order. That is in the description. And, Xavier, who is part of the team, is my head of logistics. He has a novel that he's been he has a couple novels he's working on. One of them is his version of an isekai, but he's kind of turning the concept on its head, kind of deconstructing it a little bit in a cool way. But the one that I'm really happy that he's getting to do is Xavier's really close with his father. And his dad came up with a concept for a novel, a science fiction novel, years ago. And Xavier is working on that book for him to kind of bring that to life. So yes, we do have novel plans. Our big focus is graphic novels and comic books, but we plan on doing stuff like that too. That's why I decided to call the company Grindstone Arts instead of Grindstone Comics or though Grindstone Publishing could have worked too. But So yeah, we have plans. I personally don't know if I'll ever write a novel or a novella again. It was a very arduous process. But if I ever do, it'll probably be another horror story. Grindstone movie when? If we ever make enough money. Because I won't lie, I would absolutely love to see an animated film or even a live action one of my work. But I gotta earn it. I gotta get from here to there. And we're not quite there yet. We gotta keep building and building and building and building. Grindstone makes you think of knife sharpening. Yep. One of my favorite turns of phrase ever, or I guess you could call it an idiom, is nose to the grindstone. I just like the image of the grinding metal, to shape it into something, to sharpen it, to improve it, to make it better. It's imagery that sticks with me. And the big thing is that I noticed in my own life, my life improved the more I had my nose to the grindstone. Things got better for me. Found more opportunities. More people wanted to work with me, so on and so forth. The worst parts of my life have been the times that I have ignored my responsibilities. Well, the worst times of my life since I turned 21. Or, no, 23. Which was, sadly, 15 years ago. Though, now that I think about it, outside of, like, the bad back issues that I'm having right now, after moving to the city I live in, times have been hard, but compared to, like, my childhood, and compared to early adulthood, like until I was 23, like, dude, until I was like 25, actually. My mid-20s up until now, my late 30s, have had a lot more enjoyable moments than my fucking childhood did. God. My childhood kind of sucked. Actually, not kind of, it did suck. It was not good. Not fun times, man. I admittedly had some good friends. I had some good moments, but they were kind of few and far between. I don't really feel like I started coming into my own until I was like a young man, when I was in my mid-20s. I began to kind of understand myself a lot better. Started gaining a little bit more self-confidence. Started to understand the tools I had at my disposal. And I got to learn so much cool stuff. Got to experience so many great stories. Like, I'm not rich, I'm not famous or anything like that, but told you to stop doing kung fu. Hey man, those ninjas need to fuck off, then I'll stop, okay? They won't get off my goddamn property. They always feel like they need to just sneak around. See, that guy, that's what my life is like off screen. It's like Kill Bill. Alright, just a little bit more painting and then we're going to turn in for the day. I'm going to go get some dinner. And I might get something to find something to work on tonight. Oh, goodness. And the funny thing is, there's still other stuff I want to learn. I am begging that I don't need surgery on my back. Because, you know what I'd really love to do? I already know a bit of Muay Thai, though I'd like to keep learning it. I already know how to box. I've known how to box for years. What I'd really love to do is to learn jiu-jitsu or judo. More judo, really. I want to throw people. Yeah, I think we're just going to paint the reds and the, well, yeah. There is some work I'm going to do off Inherent throws, or Columbia throws in $2 says, but Micah, Zoomers say life ends at 30. That it, bro. I know, right? I'm dead. I'm just the Walking Dead now, aren't I? Meh. But, too many people think life ends at 30, and I really wish they didn't think that. I've liked my 30s better than I've liked my 20s. Which is saying something. I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that my 30s been very mellow. In comparison. Well, actually, no, that's not completely true. There's been a lot of internet drama, but I barely remember half of it now. Any tips for spray painting? Just to let you know that I do it outside. I don't have a room for a paint booth like you have. My tip is to just pay close attention to what you're doing. And don't be afraid to be meticulous. Because being meticulous is what makes Gunpla look good. You fucker. Alright. Alright. Beautiful. Yellow is the one color painting that always makes me fucking nervous. Because it can come out wrong. It could have gotten mixed with another color that you didn't know was still in your airbrush. That one's a nightmare. Whole bunch of shit. So when it comes out and it's nice and smooth, it's good times. Yeah, red can definitely be tricky. Red is one of those colors where I say your primer is going to matter more than you realize. Because the way that red plays with primers is very different. Like, the difference between priming white and then spraying red, and then priming gray and spraying red It's noticeable. It's very noticeable. Because, like, one good example is my GPO3. That whole thing was done in gray, except for the whites. So they look a little bit more dulled. But that's because Stardust Memory has a very muted color palette in comparison to the original show, which is very bright and vibrant, which is why I painted the gym the way that I did. And the same thing with the gun cannon, why I'm priming it all in white for the outer armor, is because Gundam is a very old school, very vibrant show. Hey, Eclectic! It's a very old school, very vibrant show with its colors, so I want the paints to reflect that. Same thing with Gundam Wing. You know, Gundam Wing, very vibrant. Everything is very glossy in regards to how each of the kits, or how each of the suits look. So, for all of my Gundam Wing kits, I use gloss paints to reflect that, and I prime them, the colored parts of the armor, I prime in white, and then the, you know, I very rarely use gray primer on those, except for the inner frame. It's like, look at that. Look how vibrant that is. By the way, that's semi-gloss, and look at the way it shines. Beautiful. Then you get the underside. Oh, wait. Missed the spot. There we go. Shiny, shiny, shiny. Ugh. Also depends on what brand of red you get. That is true. Oh, got a refill. I think that one might be done, but I might have to give it another coat. Sorry, I didn't mean to bump my mic there. Columbia, thank you for the $5. Says, one thing I recommend for all hobbyists, get a Grand Oak roll top desk as big as you can for cheap. Found one on Facebook Marketplace for $200, worth it. Dude, like, I'm using a desk that I was sent to review as my hobby desk. Which, it's massive, but, the funny thing about it is that, it has LEDs and shit like that, which is great, but the problem is that, my L-shaped desk is the one that, fits what I need to use for work whenever I'm working a lot more. So the fancy desk ended up becoming my hobby desk, which I feel a little bit bad about. Like, it's a $200 desk, but at the same time, you know, you gotta do what you gotta do. What I would like to do at some point, I don't know if this is ever going to happen. What I would like to do is I would like to get, like, someday own a house, right? I would, like, at that point, like to have a streaming room and a work room. I'd love to have that separation. But that's going to be a while down the road. And that's largely because I feel like I mean, granted, streaming is work. YouTube stuff is work. I don't know why. It's just one of those things where I always worry that the temptation is going to get to me and I'm going to get too hooked into something to where I'm not going to want to do my job. And now, granted, that hasn't really come to fruition much. It happens from time to time, but I don't know. It's just something I'm always conscious of. Or try to be. Gosh. Is it supposed to keep getting warm? I'm going to check the weather real quick. Let's see here. I'm just going to stand up and do it. I've been sweating so much, my underwear is like adhered to my legs. It's like fucking sticky tack. Ah! God. 82 degrees. Everybody in Florida, there's a tropical storm possibly forming, so please stay safe, okay? Yeah, it's stupid humid outside, that's why. Oh, God. It's supposed to be hot all weekend. I might stream tomorrow instead. Actually, no, I can't. I got a business meeting tomorrow. I might just have to endure it. We'll just see what happens. Or I might just play a video game. I don't know. I don't know. Back myself up into my chair. Grab a drink of water. This is why it's beneficial to have long arms, guys. From here, which is like the dead center of my room, I can... You hear that? That's the wood of my desk. I can reach from the center of my office. Benefit of long arms. Everything is within reach. Not to mention, if you're a hugger like me, you can really just get in there with people. You know? Whenever I hug my little sisters, I will just lift them up. Joints are getting a little stiff though. So let's go ahead and paint these last parts and we will call it there. And then next time... Oh God, where did that fall? I think I see it. Okay. Next time on Gundam Build Z. Love how cozy these streams are. I'm glad, man. They're admittedly very relaxing for me as well. Just getting to sit down and work on stuff. Ugh. Excuse me. Ugh. Excuse me. Goodness. Topeka got hit by a bad storm this morning. That sucks. Hope people are okay. You know, one thing that was kind of morbid about a job I used to do? I used to work for a security company that would provide security for State Farm. And they have catastrophe claims services. They go out to a place that has been hit by a hurricane or tornado or something like that, or really bad hailstorms. And if there's a ton of claims out there, they'll just set up a big ass tent and just process claims all day. So I would do security for those. I made a lot of money doing it too. That gig actually paid for the computer that I'm using to stream right now, and that was like 7 years ago. I still need to clean the red out of this. We're also getting the Verka Sinanju Stein narrative version. Oh, dude. Yeah, the Sinanju Stein in general is a great build. I have a feeling the narrative version will be good too. It's probably going to be very similar, just different weaponry. Like, it'll likely have the same rifle. It will likely have the same beam tonfa. The difference will be the additional weaponry and the addition of, like, the sleeves regalia on the arms and chest. Because the standard Sinanju Stein does not have those. Alright, last parts. And then we're calling it. Ugh. I gotta get up, I gotta make food. Probably other stuff to do that I'm forgetting. You know, I feel like one problem I've had today is I'm very start-stop with my sentences. I was talking about catastrophe duty. Made a lot of money. But it was kind of morbid because whenever there was like a disaster that happened, like hurricanes and stuff, the immediate thing that we were all thinking was ka-ching. Because even though catastrophe duty was kind of long hours, you work 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. And in turn, you're also getting, you know, of course, whenever your overtime hits, you're getting time and a half. And the standard rate was like $4 more per hour than it normally was. So like there was a lot of money to be made. So whenever we got that catastrophe duty call, we were like, oh yeah, let's go. Like third shift, everybody, whenever catastrophe season started, we would all readjust our schedules so that we were going to bed around noonish, because we didn't want to miss that call for cat duty. And really, it's not hard work either. I was always on third shift. So I would just patrol in my car or something like that, you know? I do kind of miss those days because, like I said, the money was very good. But at the same time, I was away from home a lot. And I always worried about missing out on things. Like, I had to miss out on my youngest sister's high school graduation because of work. That ate me up. Though this is kind of a testament to my little sister and mine's relationship, my youngest sister, is I called her, I think it was like the day after her graduation, to apologize for missing it. And she goes, sis, I'm like, I'm so sorry, sis. And she goes, for what? And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, what do you mean for what? Alright. Ugh. Ugh. Good lord. Working in a retirement home is the darkest for me. How know you come to the death of a person? Yeah, I know the feeling. I didn't do a lot of work in retirement homes. I was a volunteer at one. And it was always interesting to me to just kind of see the state of mind that a lot of people were in. There were some people that I would see that didn't really mind it. You know, they were, they made friends while they were there. Or people they already knew were already in the home. The staff was nice. And for better or worse, they were taken care of, right? Then there were others that were obviously, like, very resentful of the fact that they were there. Kind of had this look of why the fuck did my kids put me in here? So what I just tried to do was just inject a little positivity. Just tried to be nice, you know? Because basically all I did was fill coffee. That was it. I was the coffee guy. And it got to a point where they were pretty happy to see me. So I figured, you know, I made the most out of the situation that I can to try to serve. Because the one thing I try to do, and the attitude I like to have with a job, any job that I take, is I'm getting paid money to make somebody's day better. Because everybody likes to have a better day than what they were having before, right? So getting paid to do it, it's pretty cool. That's just what you gotta do. Make the most of it. You never really know, and I know I'm yapping again, but this is my yapping time. You never really know when you're gonna have the opportunity to turn someone's life around in the smallest or the biggest ways. And maybe serving up a cup of coffee for somebody that's in a retirement home they don't want to be in, but you serve it up just the way they like it. Makes a difference sometimes. My favorite thing to do, though, wasn't necessarily the coffee making. It was, I always liked it whenever people would ask me to wheel them back to their rooms. Because we'd just strike up a conversation, talk about things, they'd ask about me. Because I was a volunteer, so they're like, well, what church are you from? And da-da-da-da-da. Do you know this person? Do you know that person? Like, there was one gentleman that I would, whenever I was there, I'd tend to wheel him back to his room. He'd reminisce about the old days, because he knew, like, a bunch of my high school teachers. He grew up with them. So that was kind of cool. But yeah, I would do that. I would go and, if there was still time, go and, like, change the towels in rooms and stuff like that. Okay. This is a spot. I think we're good. Well, we're all painted up. One thing I'm going to do real quick. Ugh, excuse me. Ugh. I'm going to paint these real quick as well. I'm not going to worry about priming them. There we go. I'm going to leave that there to dry. Columbia, you're not wrong, man. You're not wrong. That is kind of how I operate. Yapping is what I do. Like the old guys used to say to me, it's a living. All right. So, we are good. Oh my God. So next time we do this, we will do the assembly of all of this. And I think by that time, I'm going to go ahead and put together the treads. Maybe. We'll see what happens. But next time, we will finalize the gun tank. And then I will go put it on my shelf, and then we will not see him for a good long while. So, real quick, thank you to everybody who sent super chats and things of that nature. Let me get back to my desk here. I'm getting up a little easier. But thank you to everybody who did that. We will be back sometime this weekend to have a bit more fun. Talk a bit more about stuff that are things that be going on. And yeah, fun times, to say the least. So thank you all so much for coming by and hanging out. I'm going to go rest my back and make some dinner. Everybody else have yourselves a great rest of your evening. I'll see you next time.